Clearly Off Topic.
Two friends,
One unique conversation.
driven to learn, inspire, create, and understand.
All right, okay, listen. We're just trying to be good humans and make the world a better place.
How hard could it be? Hey everyone, welcome back to Clearly Off Topic. I don't know if you guys knew this, but about a couple weeks ago, Lindsay made me go out to the forest.
It wasn't the forest. It was Santa Clarita.
That is high desert, Lindsay. I was dehydrated. Okay, first off, Lindsay gives me an address, and I'm going. Then guess what? Phone can't read a signal.
Yeah, I drove by the entry too. Like literally drove past, and I was like, it can't be this far up this road, and had to like make a really bad U-turn to turn around. But we made it, and it was so fun.
We did, and what that fun was, which you guys probably saw on our Instagram, was Wander Forever Collective.
Yeah, they do these art shows.
Where was I, Lindsay?
We were at Rectangular Ranch out in, I think it's Sylmar.
Oh, that sounds safe.
Yeah, super safe. We had to drive up big hills and through some valleys, but it was so fun. And basically, Wander Forever Collective is a newly made nonprofit, and our friend Jules brings together a bunch of local artists, a bunch of people she knows and doesn't know, and they come together and do these art shows. There's live music. There was a pottery class at this last one.
I had so much fun. I know I'm complaining, guys, but oh my goodness, I got to make a pinch pot. There was beer and tacos.
Oh yeah, there were beer and tacos.
Was not expecting that.
Surprise. Open bar.
There was stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm. So that amazing girl did her music. I don't remember what her name is. I follow her on Instagram. I'm sure Jules will be able to tell us about it. But that kind of segues us to our guest today.
Yeah, who puts that on? It's so weird. This person's next to me. I don't know.
She might be next to us with a glass of wine. But our friend Jules Aust actually runs Wander Forever Collective. And sorry if you hear Ella in the background. We have a third host today.
It's Ella.
She's very upset that we're not allowing her on the couch.
No! It's okay, Ella.
It's okay.
But yeah, Jules is... Thank for goodness that she's joining us, because we're kind of crazy, but she agreed to come.
Yeah, and I've known Jules for a little while, but she's an amazing artist who's super multifaceted. She started out doing these resin pour art things, which are just incredible. It's cool to watch her make them, and it's cool to also like see the final result. She's putting them not just on canvases, or I think it's actually wood she puts them on. We'll find out. But she's putting them on skate decks. It's incredible. So everybody, please welcome Jules Aust.
I feel the need to clap.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, so let's just dive right in. You started off as an artist, and now you're kind of an entrepreneur. A little bit.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
That's a huge compliment.
Yeah, I think that's a huge truth.
Yeah.
For what you've completely created.
Yeah, I definitely started as an artist, and it's kind of transformed into allowing everybody who has that artistic side, which I believe everybody does, but whoever wants to explore that part of them to actually have the ability and the platform to share it. And that's my vision, and that's the power behind all of this. So,
well, it's so hard as an artist. Like all three of us are artists in our different ways. And as an artist, the last thing I want to think about is business or setting up an event. I just want to make my art and I want people to love it and buy it, and I don't want to have a regular 9-to-5 job. You're helping with that.
yes.
Where does that passion come from? Is it just from frustration of being an artist yourself, or you just saw a need and then created this?
Definitely frustration, being an artist myself. Going to work every day. I love my job, but I can't wait to get home to create. And I am so excited when I see one of my pieces up in somebody's house or in their office or whatever it may be. And that's the drive behind it.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. Do you have a question?
It's really cool. These events are so awesome, you guys. And this was your third event, I think. Fourth, if you count the festival you did.
Fourth or fifth,
Yeah.
And this is not the first one we've been to. Surprise Attack. Lindsay and I have been to a couple of them.
Yeah.
This one was my favorite, despite the amount of effort. I actually think that was part of this amazing experience, that you were then transported into this little artist community in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, no cell reception, which was a surprise to all of us. And yeah, it was so tucked away, and everybody felt like they're going on a little journey through the flowers and the forest to, get to this little wonderland and explore everybody's craft.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. And yeah, we've been to a few of these before, and every time they get bigger and better.
Yes.
And I can't wait for the next one. And I know there's one coming up. So like May 18th, there's one called Mimosas and Mandalas, and they're going to do, it's like an art workshop, right?
Yeah, it's a workshop. So we're going to be teaching whoever wants to come how to create your own mandala. Mandalas are used for meditation and healing and all of that. So we want to allow the artist to not only learn how to create one from scratch, but to create your own and what makes sense for you.
So for people who don't know what a mandala is, you kind of explained it a little bit, but what is it made out of? How do you make it? And what does it stand for in your own life if you're like creating one?
So for me, it's, a meditation tool. You stare at the center and, whatever. But
are they typically circular or?
Typically circular with some sort of pattern surrounding it. And it could be floral, it could be hearts, it could be squares, circles, whatever you choose.
That's very interesting. All right, so where did the name Wander Forever Collective come from? It's a little depressing, but also a little inspiring at the same time. I don't know which way to go down.
I think it's so inspiring. Like
wander forever, but it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So I know there's the typical saying that's, those who, not all those who wander are lost. And I think it definitely stems from that. However, I was in an airport with my friend Tiki, and I was telling her all about my ideas and how I wanted to start this collective, and I couldn't figure out a name. And there was a sign.
I was like, air quotes.
And it said Wanderland, like welcome to Wanderland. And I was like, wander. And I kind of just pondered on that. And I actually had a bumper sticker that said Wander Forever already. And just went with that.
That's awesome. Well, I think it really entails like a lot of the artist struggle, right? Because I know that, Jules, you talk about, and I would love to know like where all of your art came from, but you talked to me about a lot how your art has kind of transformed over the years, and it's like ever existing and ever changing. And I think that wander forever is like constantly explore, constantly keep moving forward. And that's what I get from it. So where did you start this journey? Like, how has it started? How has it transformed?
It's definitely always changing. As an artist, you feel trapped into, doing the same thing because that's what people know you as. And, oh, that's the girl who ties strings together. Or that's the, guy who spray paints or whatever it may be. And I just don't feel like that's realistic. If you're creative and if you want to express yourself, it's going to be whatever you're feeling. So I definitely embrace the fact that I'm okay with doing a flower one day and maybe resin pouring the next, or a mandala one day and maybe just going crazy with a spray paint. Like, who knows what I'm feeling that day. So I think that's I think it's good for any artist to feel comfortable in doing that.
Yeah, that's true. Constantly changing.
Constantly changing. Do you have a favorite medium?
I'd say acrylic. Yeah,
that's my favorite too. It's very
wood.
Easy. Oh, acrylic on wood? Yeah.
I love wood just because it's like, natural, and you get that like natural look and color from the wood. So
I really do like all your wood stuff. It's
so
cool.
We're definitely gonna have on our Instagram a lot of her pieces because you guys can check it out. They are very unique in the way that they are formed and the way that they express themselves, because the paint's also expressing itself in a weird way, and you're like have a relationship with that as well. How many artists started with the collective? Because I've seen it grow, and I felt like this last one was a lot bigger.
Yeah, it has grown significantly. Our first event was, I think, 8 artists. And the last one, which has been, I think, number 5, it was 27. Plus, we had like 5 musical performances, which we'd never had before.
Which was, that's insane.
It was insane. It was very overwhelming. But it was beautiful, and I was so excited, and I cried after. But yeah, it's been really great.
What is the hardest part of putting on an event like this?
Oh my God.
Like there's so many moving pieces, but like what's the thing that you're like, why?
Gosh, I don't even know. I think because, I hate to say it, but the artist world is, people are just like, living in La La Land most of the time. And not everybody takes it as a business. So it's hard to organize with a bunch of people that are so, like expressive and emotional, and I think that's the most difficult.
Yeah, you have to hold space for all of that. Like, I hate to say you have to hold space for all that creativity, but you do have to hold space for all of this creative energy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And I mean, like, I know a couple of the artists that were there. I was a flow artist there, which was pretty cool. I'm into that. It was super fun.
It was awesome. There's a lot of cool, like, every kind of medium. There's the painters and the singers and the comedians and the flow artists, and everything was there. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, our friend Kirsten was there, and I mean, Ramses, who I've known like weirdly in all these different lives. He's like a potter now, and he's the one who did the pinch pot thing.
I learned how to make a pinch pot from Ramses, right? I learned how to make a pinch pot. He had a whole little workshop, and it was very just genuine and authentic. I was just standing there, and he's like, "Hey, you like clay?" I said, "Yeah,
sure."
We sat down and made a pinch pot. But you want to let them speak for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually were able to talk to Kirsten and Ramses and just kind of get the artist perspective of what Jules is doing for everybody. And yeah, here they are.
So my name is Kirsten Chambers. I am the creator of Poor Little Niche Girl. Basically, it's just kind of like a mixture of wire wraps of different gemstones. I do prints and then canvases, just kind of with like my own tweak on it, and just kind of just wild ideas that come from my imagination.
Did Wonder Collective push you to get your shit together, like as an artist? Like seriously, you're like, oh, I have this show, I have to get things together, I have to think about who I am, I have to think about exactly what my brand is. Did it push you, like having an event like this?
100%. I was like, all right, I really need to get my shit together. Like, I have these ideas just kind of floating around, and it's time to put it to fruition, and something that's physical, like a product I can actually sell. It started out as me actually just making jewelry for friends and family, and then people saying, hey, like, I want to buy this. So I was posting on Instagram, and I was like, I can actually do this. Like, this is a thing. I can have my own little small business, and I believe in the power of small business, so it's events like this that I love being a part of.
So what are you looking forward to as a member of this like community now?
I really love, it sounds so cliche, but like the actual community feeling. I mean, having people walk by and they're like, hey, I have one of your prints. It's hanging on the wall in my room. It's like, it makes me feel so good inside knowing that I made something that made someone feel some sort of way, whether it be like inspired or happy. And I think it's just ultimately making new friends, obviously being able to put my name out there, but it's so much more than that. And I'm so happy to see us grow. I think that art, it's a different type of intelligence. You're channeling the other side of your brain that does not work off of logic. It's the things you dream of, the beauty you see in everyday life, and I think that's amazing. I think it needs to be shared, and being able to share that with others is such a blessing.
Please introduce yourself, sir.
Ramses Putnam from Putnam Pottery.
How long have you been doing pottery?
Not that long, actually. I've been doing it for probably like a little over 2 years. For me, I think it's just I want to be able to express myself in multiple ways, and like if I don't, I feel like sort of trapped or like in a sense like bored. So for me, it's like, yeah, I guess it's just about being able to like work with other people as well, and like I built a big community within like the pottery community and the studio that I went to, and like meeting new people and like learning from them, and it's like it was just a way for me to like interact. In my personal job, I'm not able to do that. It's like I work by myself, and so there wasn't really an outlet to talk to people, and so this was really cool to interact with people and then learn from them. It really motivates me, and there's like so many talented people here, and it just makes me want to like be that much better and like sort of like elevate where I'm at.
All right, so putting together this event is difficult. It's got many ups and downs, but a lot of reward. Where does this entrepreneurial side come from? Because you're using a lot of the left and the right brain.
Yeah.
Have you always been this way? Did you teach yourself to be this way?
I don't know. Okay, to kind of backtrack, it might be sort of a long story, but bear with me.
We got time.
We're here for stories.
So I decided to go on a volunteering trip last year, in the beginning of the year. And it was in Laos, and I don't know if anybody knows Laos, but it's very poor, and it's crazy because you have to volunteer and then you have to pay to volunteer. So I needed to raise money to be able to go on the trip to volunteer, and I was like, well, I have all of these resin paintings sitting in my room. Maybe I should just try and sell them. So I had a bake art sale. So I had, some baked goods and some art. And I sold almost every single piece. And at the end of the day, I was like, holy crap. Maybe I can actually do this. Maybe I don't have to work a 9-to-5. Maybe I can work my 9-to-5 and have this as a side job or a hobby or whatever. But people like it and I like doing it. So like, I just want to keep doing this. And it was a huge fuel to the fire. And after that, I got together with a few friends and I was like, do you guys want to have an event? Do you want to try and sell your art? And that's when we had our first event in April of 2018. So
yeah, and that was the one in Hollywood.
Yep.
We were there. Joel sold coffee.
Yeah.
Was not really prepared.
That was a fun one. I remember that one. It was very, very intimate. It was small at a tiny art shop.
Super small. And I just realized that it was as simple as just pulling together a couple people, finding a venue, working out, the logistics and the legal side of it, and making sure you had the doorman and the insurance and all of that stuff. But to me, it was like not so much effort for such a huge reward, not only for me, but for 8 other artists.
Yeah.
So,
and that's incredible that you can see it that way too, because I think some artists, or at least from my experience, get kind of caught up in like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And the fact that you saw this like ability in yourself and then transported it to being able to share that ability with friends and people you knew who were also trying to get their like ideas and creativeness out there. And just the fact that you were able to like see the need, fill the need, and not just fill the need for yourself, but for others. Like, that's incredible to me, and just props to you, because that's so incredible to think of others, like aside from yourself, you know? And I know you fronted the money, you did all of that, and that's a big risk and a big commitment. And I'm just so happy that you're doing this stuff. It's incredible.
It's really fun.
How does it all work? So how do you find your artists? How does it work if they want to be part of your collective? Tell us the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
So, it's sort of changing now because we are...
You're huge!
Yeah.
Big announcement. Do we have a big announcement button? We should have a big announcement. I need a sound machine.
You have me.
I have Juliet.
Just get a bell.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ding dong!
So, as of April 2019, we are officially a non-profit.
Hooray!
I'm gonna clap again. Snaps for Jules. Okay.
It's so exciting. But yeah, that's incredible.
It's super exciting. And this just helps us further grow the collective, and it opens up all the doors for different opportunities, and who knows.
And that's in 1 year.
That's what I'm saying.
We just told you, listeners, the first event was in 2018.
Yeah, in April of 2018. And by the 1 year mark, they were at a nonprofit.
It's pretty great. That just shows the amount of work that you've put into it, but the heart and the effort and all of that.
Mm-hmm. And I know that you actually, like, you kind of, not necessarily share responsibilities, but Amber's a really big part in this as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about, like,
Shout
her role
out.
and kind of how you guys, like, because I'm sure you guys kind of both do different things, and it kind of meshes together beautifully.
Amber is incredible, and she is such a good person, which I just feel like, shout out to Amber.
Seriously, I know you, Amber. Snaps for Amber. All the shout outs.
Wait, tell us who she is. People don't know who she is.
So Amber is a really good friend of mine, and she's always kind of dabbled in art. Same with me. We actually went to a festival back in the day in like 2015, and we found this wall, and everybody was painting on the wall, and I remember her and I just spending like hours at this wall painting together, and nothing else mattered. And at that point I was like, damn, she is not only super talented, but we just share the same vision, and we just kind of meshed at that point. And since then, we've been doing all of the events together. She's been at every single event since we started, and she's now a part of the collective, and she's just partnering with me, and we're making it happen.
So how do we find her, I think is what Juliet was getting at too.
So
that too, but also I still need to know how to join your collective. All the artists out there who are like, how do I get involved?
So Amber, you can find her name is Rain and Sunshine, and that's I don't know if you want me to spell it.
It's kind of weird. You know what? We'll put it in the show notes for you guys.
REIGN. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's a weird spelling.
It is a weird spelling. So Amber Bliss is her actual name. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. But how you can become a part of the collective, you can follow us on Wander Forever Collective at Instagram, or send me an email, wanderforever@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, absolutely. So, but so what does it entail too? Like, if an artist sends you their paperwork and stuff, I mean, is there like a contract? You have to be in a certain amount of shows. You have to pay to be in the shows. You have to put in a certain amount of artwork. Like, what are the logistics of being at a Wander Forever collective event?
So there are fees involved. It's a donation to the collective, but it varies based off of the event and the size and all of that. But each event we would post on our social media, open artist call. Things are changing, like I said, so we will have a website up and running shortly where you can apply, and you'll be in our basically like our inventory of artists, and you'll get an email every time that we have a new like open artist call.
So this didn't just happen overnight. I mean, it kind of did. It was only a year. But did you see this becoming what it is when you first started?
Absolutely not.
So how did we get from point A to point B? You start this thing and then you just kept working at it. Like, where does that drive come from, and how did you know what steps to take?
Well, I saw the first event, I did front all of the money, and I did put every ounce of time and energy that I had into it. And at the end of it, I was at 0. So I didn't see it as a failure. I didn't see it as a negative. And there was 8 artists that continued to either do more shows or had more exposure or sold at least one thing, if not 5, 10 things. And I just couldn't believe it. Like, if I were offered the opportunity to sell one piece and it sold, I would be ecstatic.
Yeah. So yeah, you've just kind of like, you saw the potential in this small thing. And I remember when you did your first festival. Tell us about that, because you kind of curated art for a festival out in the desert. What was that like? How did you get involved there?
Yeah, that was crazy.
What festival is it to? You gotta tell us.
It is Camp Trip Oasis.
That sounds
by
fun.
far my favorite festival that I've been to, by the way.
What year was this? Yeah, shout out, free ticks. What? Juliette wants free things.
This was last September, and we'll be doing it again this year. Same time. It's at the end of September. But I did the NoHo Art Walk. We curated the little art walk there last year, and somebody approached me and he was like, hey, when you get a chance, do you want to have a conversation? I have a gallery that I need somebody to curate. And I was like, oh my God, no effing way. This is so rad.
That's so strange. A stranger?
A stranger just walked up to her.
Just a stranger. I mean,
did you manifest it? Like, how the hell does this happen to you?
Yeah, and I was like, well, yeah, of course. Like, I didn't even know anything about it. I instantly just said, I'm down. Give me the information. He sent me the information via email, and it was so organized. And I was like, damn, he means business. Like,
I love those type A's.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Juliette loves lists.
It's so good for you.
It was perfect. It was all organized, listed out, and he worked with me and made sure that all of the artists had something to some sort of initiative. So he gave them and a +1 tickets to the festival. Everybody had free food, and they could basically put up all of their art and sell it in the gallery, which was incredible. I think there was like 500 people that came to the festival. So
damn, that's
so awesome.
Yeah, a lot of exposure. So
do you still work with that guy?
Yeah, we'll be doing it again this year.
Yay! So Camp Trip. I mean, if you don't make it out to mandalas and mimosas, that's so hard for me to say, by the way.
M&M,
mandalas and mimosas. Definitely make it out to Camp Trip, because I was actually jealous last year that I didn't go. I don't remember what I was doing.
In September, were you at Burning Man?
No, it's the end of September. I was doing something. I might have been in another festival performing or something. But yeah, I was like, dang it. Because you got that there was like a mirror room or something like that. Or was that your actual, that was October.
That was October at our last event prior to this last one, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another one. But Camp Trip was amazing.
Yeah.
If you guys like festivals, it's definitely one to go to.
Is it a 3-day festival?
Oh, yeah. What kind of music is it?
It is a 3-day festival. I'm terrible with genres of music, so I don't
even
want to go there.
Worry. It's like dance music.
Dancey type of music.
Where's it located?
It is in Native Springs.
It's in the desert.
Somewhere.
Right?
I think I'm saying that right. I could be wrong.
I don't know. Don't look at me. You guys can't see. They're both looking at me like as if I know the geographical location of this
Juliette
place.
knows everything. She's a type A. Isn't that her job?
I do have a computer on my lap, but I'm not going to Google it.
It's definitely out in the desert somewhere.
Camp Trip Oasis. Hold on. Google will tell us.
All right, Lindsay's going to look it up.
Google will tell us.
Well, while she's doing that,
Native Springs, you're right.
What are your future goals for Wander Forever? Do you have? I mean, clearly you've done well
Obviously, she's got all
without
the
any
goals.
expectations, but now that you're like a real nonprofit big girl, what are you gonna do with your big girl pants?
I'm gonna wear them.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to hear. No belt.
No belt.
We definitely have big goals. Amber and I are working on figuring out what the best thing is for the collective and how we're going to best benefit all of the artists and continue to grow and provide bigger opportunities for everybody. But we definitely would like to get more into art installations and interactive art, public
Burning Man.
art. Yeah.
Here's Lindsay's shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Come to Burning Man. I mean, don't come.
I'm gonna
actually,
go
just
eventually.
stay
There's gonna
away.
be like 5,000
It's okay.
podcasts
It's gonna
of
be
me
canceled.
complaining.
It's gonna be canceled before Juliet goes. It's fine.
They're gonna cancel it. They can't do that.
They can do that.
I have to go first,
Yeah. mhm.
so it needs to be going for like another 3 years.
Anyway, but yeah. So I mean, art installations are so cool. And do you want to do like specific artists curating them, or are you interested in like making those art installations?
Oh, both.
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I want to build a giant one, but it costs a lot of money.
I think
Donate to the collective.
I think
Yeah.
that is something you touched on, a huge button buzzer point of the amount of money that goes into making art.
Oh yeah.
People are like, you're an artist, you just create things out of nothing. No, you don't. You have like materials and fees and
yeah.
even for you as a flow artist.
Oh
like,
yeah, oh my god, fees are incredible. Actually, I just ruined my one of my hoops and I now have to like get it re-wicked because I can't spin fire with it anymore because it's like falling apart. But yeah, I mean there's constant fees and stuff and I actually
Art's
remember
not
when
free.
no, it's not free.
Being creative is not free.
And I remember when you first started and you were like buying all this resin stuff and I was like, I know how much that stuff is. Like
It's expansive.
shit's expensive, you
And
know?
people, I think that's a very important point to make to non-artists is that it costs not only the materials, the
But
amount
your
of
time.
time you put into it and everything. And then creativity cannot be learned, I believe. I think that you are creative or you're not.
Yeah.
You're creative in other ways. But it's something that you can't put a price on, and a lot of people do not understand that.
Yeah.
So what have you struggled? This is always really interesting for me to ask artists is it's really difficult to be an artist because I feel like a big thing, especially for like smaller artists, is being paid what you should be for your art. And I know Juliet struggles a lot with this and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
And that's a big message that I want our listeners to understand is that like if you're buying art, you're basically buying a piece of that person.
Heart.
Yeah.
A piece of their heart. I sold a painting and I cried. The first painting, I don't know if it was the same for you, but the very first piece of art I ever sold, I literally cried and I prayed. I said, I hope that they keep this painting and they're very nice to it. What is that? Like, it's just a painting, but it's true. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I know that your paintings are super reasonably priced, and I kind of can't believe it sometimes how reasonably priced they are. But like, have you had any struggles in like technically? I mean, you say you were at zero the first Wander Collective event.
Which is
like,
a
what have been
huge
kind of your
fall.
struggles as far as like having the money? I know that you've like worked out having the time, but you have to front a lot of money for these events, and you have to put a lot of yourself kind of out there as risk. Like, how does that feel, and how have you been able to process all of that? Because that's rough.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult, but it happens so fast. And I obviously put together like a budget and I estimate like what we can realistically make happen. And it always ends up working out. And I think it's because of everybody coming together and sharing the same vision. I think that's so important is to find your people and find the people that believe in you and believe in each other and like the idea, and they come together and they collaborate and make shit happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I need that bumper sticker. I know it exists. Make shit happen.
I'll find it for you. Don't worry.
I feel like that's my job title. People are like, what do you do? I'm like, I make shit happen.
Really, that should be your job title. Juliet has so many jobs. I never know.
so
People are like, "What does
many
Juliet do?" I'm like,
I started referring to myself as a Swiss Army knife and like personified. I'm a Swiss Army knife. You need scissors? I got those. You need a knife? I got those. You need a corkscrew? I got that too.
Yeah, she probably does have a corkscrew in her purse at all times.
I do. I also, anyway, okay. The first aid kit in there, and came in handy this weekend. Different episode. But I wanted to ask, what's like the most surprising thing that you learned from another artist? Because as an artist, you're like, ooh, I'm creative. I know things.
Ooh, good question. I like that one, Juliet.
Actually, I just learned something, and I'm going to incorporate it into the collective, which I'm super excited about. But there is an artist that started with us this last event, and she just went wild, and she's like painting murals all over LA. And I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
how? What the heck? That's amazing. And they're epic. And I just think it's so rad. And I asked her, I was like, how are you doing this? This is amazing. And I guess she's just linking up with different businesses that need murals, and she's just painting them up, and they're going up all over LA, and they look amazing. So I think that we're going to try and incorporate some sort of, I don't know, like some sort of connection with different local businesses that need artists or need murals or paintings or whatever, and we'll try and link people up.
So almost kind of be like a networking place where everybody can use their contacts and share their contacts. And so it's almost like a place where artists can kind of come to other artists and be like, hey, I'm looking into getting into this. I know you're into this. And you can have that Wander Forever Collective in common and be like, hey, I kind of know you even though I don't know you.
It's a network.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
I've already started making goals for you.
Juliet loves networking. When we first started doing this podcast, I was like, Juliet, listen, I got all the business side of this, but I don't know what networking is. And she's like, she's already sent me like 15 events we have to be at and like all this stuff. Like Juliet's like so the networking queen. But that's awesome. And I think, I mean, I've learned a lot from my friends who are artists, and I've learned so much from you. Like, you said that you were stressed out at that Wander Collective or Forever Collective event, but like you looked so cool, calm, and collected.
You did. You were so cute. I can remember exactly what you were wearing. You had like these high-waisted jeans, this little crop top, and I was like,
her
that
little
girl's
hat.
so freaking cute.
Okay, if I didn't have the hat on, you would see that my hair was soaking wet because of sweat. It was like 110
It was so
degrees.
hot that day.
I love those stories though, because so much work goes into things, and people just think, oh wow, she made a nonprofit artist collective in 1 year, and look at her. Well, I can't do that. You worked your ass off, like,
Yeah.
and sharing the fact that you were coming apart at the seams. My hair is too sweaty to not wear a hat. That's beautiful. That is the process of entrepreneurship and being an artist all wrapped into one.
It is. It's
Under
like
your
my
hat.
side and Juliet's side all mixed into one. Yeah, I mean, that event was awesome. But yeah, there's always things that happen in events, and just with the grace that you like walked through that event with was incredible to me.
Thank you. I really appreciate that because I am like a mess inside.
Welcome to being human.
Yeah. Welcome to This Is Exactly What Our Podcast is About. Like, hi, we're keeping it all together on the outside, but here's all of our issues on the inside.
Like a Russian doll. Like once you open it up, there's like 1,000 little crazy ones inside.
Yeah, running, but yours are running around and not
Mine
like
have
nested neatly.
ADHD. Yeah, Lindsay's are much calmer, I think. Actually, I don't know. The crazy ones are the calmest.
That's true.
I just had this thought when you were talking about the network you're creating and all the support. Support cultivates creativity. You can't be creative if you're not supported.
That's true.
I 100% agree. I actually had a friend today who she messaged me and she's like, by the way, like, you just bossed up and you started a business. Like, that is incredible. Like, congratulations. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. I'm so like scared. And she's like, no, like, I support you and you have such a big support system. You don't have to worry. And I was like, wow, like, thank you so much. Because it really matters when you're taking a risk and you're going out on a ledge and you're creating, and it's really scary, but I couldn't do it without my peeps.
Yeah. Well, as an artist, you're constantly questioning yourself, because it is like a little piece of your soul out there in the universe.
Or a big piece.
Or a big piece of your soul out in the universe. And, you know, like I do a lot of creative things. Like I paint and I do the podcasting, which I think is creative. I do a lot on camera work, and you're constantly judging yourself. You could do something perfectly. You could make a perfect picture, a perfect resin pour, and you'd be like, this is crap. And it's not like you have to be told it's good, but you need to have the support of like, it doesn't matter if it's crap.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Like or it's awesome. Like you don't need to be told you're awesome. You just need to have that group of people who's constantly giving you like a little hug.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where this whole collective really kind of like grew from. There's so many people that I know that are creative in some way. And I honestly believe that everybody is creative. You just need to tap into what that specific creativity is. But there are so many people that I'm like really close with, and they're like, oh, I like to draw, or oh, I like to sing, or oh, I like to do this. And I'm like, just do it. Mm-hmm. Just fucking do it. And I give them the opportunity to do so, and they do it. They're scared. They get over it, and then they're instantly like, maybe I'll do it again. Yeah. And that's where something magical happens.
That's true. Creativity happens in allowing yourself to be vulnerable is a quote that's always been like really important to me. And I think that as an artist in general, like whatever you're doing, like I consider what Joel does, like roasting coffee beans is technically an art, you know? And like he has to put his creative energy into how to figure out how to make that bean taste the best. Juliet does like these teeny tiny pattern drawings and they're so intricate, and she has to put in her like time and energy into that. And she has to be vulnerable to put that up onto a wall. Or like we had it up in our like living room all the time in college.
That's because they were too poor to afford a regular art.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
just paint it.
Yeah, we had no money. We'll talk about that eventually. But yeah, and so it's just it's hard to even like, I'm not like creative when it comes to like drawing or art, but I'll paint sometimes because acrylic's really easy, right? Like acrylic on canvas is pretty easy, and I'll kind of do these like, you know, pattern things. And it was even scary for me to put my first piece up in my own house because I was like, we're not going to do that. So I guess what brought you to feeling like putting yourself out there with your art? Like, was it like you did a painting and you did a like pour art or a drawing and you were like, this is really good, I want to share it? Or did you just start doing them and sharing them and seeing what people's reactions were?
Yeah, I just started doing it. And I'm kind of that way with everything that I do. I mean, I dabble in music, I dabble in yoga, I dabble in art, whatever. But I think just sharing it and being vulnerable and open and not really caring, to be honest.
Where do you get that degaff attitude?
I mean, it's definitely a struggle. But you really at some point just got to say, you know what, screw it. Like, this is who I am. People don't like it, they don't like it, but I have to like it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important.
Also, resin pouring. I just realized that's never crossed my mind as something to do.
Oh,
How
it's
the hell
so
did
messy.
you get that idea?
It is so messy.
And how, like, did you learn? Like, tell me everything.
So I went to a party once, and the guy who was hosting the party, he did resin art, and it was like these massive, like 8-foot pieces, and he did it for a living. And I was like, holy crap, those are epic. How do you do it? And he just told me, I used art resin. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're not going to give me any of your secrets. I get you.
You're like,
I will
sweet.
YouTube it. So just YouTube and just trial and error. But I destroyed my apartment.
Did you?
What do you mean you destroyed your...
Oh,
So,
like paint everywhere. Do you know
resin,
how...
yeah. Resin hardens and it never goes away.
Oh.
So
Can you create, like, a piece of furniture out of it?
probably.
Like if you just, like, pour...
Have you ever seen, there's like people who make like, this is a hippie thing, so sorry non-woo-woo people, but hippies will use resin art and put like crystals and things of that nature in there. You set them by your bed and they're supposed to like bring good energy and like mindfulness. Yeah. And like they'll basically put all these things into like a mold and pour resin into it.
So resin is a type of plastic.
It's like epoxy resin, like a plastic, I guess you'd say.
Because I always see it, I'm like, it's so beautiful and flowy, but you're telling me that it's like a hardened thing that's been heated up. Like, how does the process work?
So depending on the type that you have, I use like a 2-part mixture, and within 48 hours it's solid, and you cannot really do anything with it. So
you're like, this is what we look like
it
today.
is what it is.
So you have to be pretty solid in your decision making, or very flexible with your opinions of it.
Yeah, and lots of paper and plastic on the floors.
I was gonna say, did you not put that down? Was your floor just like resiny?
No, I definitely use like a tarp and plastic, but it goes wherever it wants to go. So yeah, I had quite a few disasters.
Oh no.
That's part of the process though.
Well, I remember when she said she was doing this and I was like, wait, like I know your apartment and you don't have like an outdoor area. You don't have like...
How are your lungs?
Okay, so this apartment we're talking about was 450 square feet with a bed and a couch.
She could have filled it with resin.
She could have literally... it could have been its own little resin triangle guy with crystals and Julia right inside of it.
Yeah. So I would move my coffee table, I would put a tarp down, and in between my couch and my bed, which was a total of like 4 feet, I would just paint it up.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the lengths that you go when you have an idea are pretty monumental.
They
right?
really are.
Like, I know whenever I get an idea, and Lindsay can attest to this.
Oh my god.
I'll get an idea and I just can't not do it. I will literally drop what I'm doing and I have to just go do that thing. And
even if she's doing something else that's also important.
it's usually more important. Lindsay Prairie! Yeah, quick story. I saw an Instagram post of a girl doing a one-armed handstand drinking out of a coffee cup, and I spent the next hour and a half trying to take a selfie of myself doing that. I succeeded.
She did succeed.
Check
It's
out my
all over
Instagram.
her Instagram. It's also on her Facebook. It's
I also
everywhere.
printed that picture, and now it's hanging in my home.
I mean, it should be. It was definitely like a feat.
I was also sore for a week afterwards.
She was.
But I'm just saying, like, artists are nuts, and that's okay. Nuts in a
Yes.
good way. But you just had this drive. I have to do it. I'm going to move my coffee table. I don't care if I have 4 square feet to work with. I don't really care. It's a rental. Fuck this place.
Yeah.
Like flip tables.
And you bring that same kind of passion and drive into the Wander Forever Collective. And you can feel it when you go to the events. Like, you can totally feel it. They're well put together. They're well thought out. It's not just this like, oh, we have artists, they put together, they have booths. It's really like, this is your baby, and you feel like a member of the family when you come to these things.
You do.
Well, thank you. That is such a compliment.
Yeah.
Makes me feel really good.
We loved
it.
being there. Juliet was actually mad she had to leave early.
I almost changed my whole schedule to stay later. I was mad. You're right. I forgot I was mad. I was very mad.
Yeah,
We'll have plenty more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, definitely make sure to check out Jules on Instagram. How do you spell your Instagram?
Yeah, give us all the things.
Give us all the things. Website.
And Amber and her weird spelling of...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need to pull that up.
I can pull that up.
So my Instagram is at Jules Aust, which is JULESAUST. And you can find us at Wander Forever Collective. And Amber, the beautiful Amber Bliss, she is Rain and Sunshine.
And it is RAYNE and SUNSHYNE. So basically all of the I's are Y's. And that is Amber Bliss. And her art is really incredible too. She's also a great photographer, and she loves to play with editing stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Her style is so colorful. Like, the rainbow is Amber.
Yeah.
Rain and shine
Literally.
creates rainbows.
It does.
So
Like,
she's smart.
She's a smart
as well
lady.
with the puns. Well,
also make sure to follow
Yes.
Wander Forever Collective.
Yes.
That is the actual art collective's site. There's a really cool picture of me on there with my fans. So you should definitely check that out too.
they have an Instagram, they have a Facebook, so whatever social media platform you prefer. And also, of course, we want to thank Red Bear Roastery for fueling our podcast with amazing caffeine into our veins. And if you mention, was it Off Topic?
Oh yeah, if you use the code OFFTOPIC at checkout, you get 10% off of your order. Like I say, every episode he delivers in LA and Orange County, so check his delivery map. And yeah, make sure to caffeinate yourself every morning, because I don't know how you live if you don't, honestly.
Are you an adult?
Yeah.
Drink coffee.
Adults drink coffee. And
I'm kidding, you can drink tea, it's fine.
You can definitely drink tea. We like tea too. But yeah, I think that has been clearly off topic this week. And thanks so much for joining us, Jules.
Thank you.
And we will talk to you guys soon.
All right, Off Topic, out.
Out.